Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Shai, Bashem Hakodash. Belongs to the apostles of James Ruel, belongs to the faithful men that's always continually doing the work of the Lord. Alright. So like I'm gonna be moving around a little bit, so like if you hear a little background noise. But anyways, I just wanna just speak through the spirit. I was watching the elder brother Dallas. I believe his channel name is what is it? Israel in Rome, I believe. He be having some heavy videos, a lot of testimonial videos, a lot of spiritual videos. But yeah, man, I just watched one today where he said his and his family seen a chariot on the day of Passover, or not day of Passover, Day of Atonement a couple years ago, and it was like extremely close. You know what I'm saying? He was describing how it was like something that it was like out of this world type shit. And he said a point where he was like, we got to remember these spiritual things, these spiritual events that the Lord show us. You know what I'm saying? And it made me just remember different things that the Lord showed me, and just little spiritual things. And sometimes you seen 144, or you with a brother and something happened, and then the Lord make it. You say something, and the Lord make it manifest, and just all, seeing chariots and things like that. Just think about all these little different spiritual things, but the Lord deliver you out of different times, and that's important that we got to remember. We got to keep that in the forefront, because as Israelites, as people, we humans. That's what I meant to say. As humans, we in this flesh, we gonna forget. You see what I'm saying? The Lord would do something, crazy, like a miracle, or something hella spiritual, and then we get so wooed, and then 5 hours later we kind of just forget about it, or whatever, or 2 days later you kind of forget about it, or you might actually go through something, and then you're not going back and like, man, well, I remember the time when the Lord did this, He delivered me out of this. And that's what we got to do when we go through our little trials and tribulations in our little daily lives. Times where you short on your rent, or times where shit get a little tight. You should remember the Lord. You should remember, well, I remember last time I was short on my rent. I had 2 days left, and I don't know where the fuck the money was gonna come from, but the Lord helped me. Or I remember this time, this, that, and the third, and you should use it for what you're going through now. And not only that, but also to edify other brothers, because they might be going through a situation that you went through. You see what I'm saying? And so real quick, so I guess this happened October 5th, 2024. I remember I made a video about this a long time ago, but when I was thinking about what the elder was saying, this is like one of the first things that came in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because this is when I visit Cleveland. I was went to go see the brothers. I remember during this time, like I said, I already made videos about it, but I was going through heavy demon mental plagues, where I was just getting plagued, man. Like man, it was crazy, man. I was having heavy ass thoughts of doubt. Just doubting the Most High, and doubting if He's real and shit like that. It was heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? It was just heavy ass demons. But I remember I went to Cleveland, and then we went to by the water or whatever. And I first went to the bridge part, and I'm just looking at the waves roaring back and forth and beating the rocks and shit like that. I'm like, man, first I'm like, man, damn, man, like, how can you say there's no God? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm looking at the mighty work of the Most High. And then we walked over across some ways, and then we went to this part. And then as soon as because we was walking through the grass, and then we walked to the big ass rock that's right before the water, this big ass rock that you see right here. And then, I mean, literally, I got brothers probably to the right and my left of me. And then I'm the one that stepped right here into this exact moment. You see what I'm saying? Like no brothers was planning it. Like, oh yeah, I know this spot where it says trust. Like, no, we just randomly just walked up to this spot, and then what was literally right in front of my feet was the words "trust in the Lord." And when I seen that, man, I was wooed, man. I'm like, man, damn, bro, that was the sign. That was the Lord speaking to us, man. Because the Lord don't just speak to us. He don't just come down from the heavens and say, hey, my son, listen. You know, sometimes he speaks to a brother. That's one of the main ways, to the prophets, or he speaks to us through signs and wonders and numbers and words like that. Like that wasn't no coincidence, man. Like the script, like people say these days, the Lord works in mysterious ways. All right. Let me see if I can find this one real quick. I believe it's in Jeremiah. Matter of fact, yeah. Should be Jeremiah 10. And 20. Salakia. Yeah, 23. Oh, Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. Right. So we can't control what we really do. What we feel like we're in control. We feel like, okay, you know what? I'm about to make a decision to walk this way. You know what I'm saying? But really, it's the Most High doing that. The Most High directed you, just like He directed me, specifically me, to step, like literally, like that's no coincidence, man. Like we walked from one random spot to another random ass spot in the cut, and then I walked up to the rock, and my feet was literally pointing to this. It's like the Lord wanted me to see that, man. You see what I'm saying? He directed our steps to walk into that path right there. You know what I'm saying? Or the Lord might put the spirit on you to turn your head at the right moment and see the clock up 144, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And we gotta remember those spiritual times, man, because those are faith boosters, man. Those are faith boosters, and we're gonna really need that. We need that right now, but how much more when the shit hit the fan? What if you locked up, man? What if you locked up and Esau got you locked up for preaching the word, and you in there, you probably scared, you probably hungry. They might about to put the death penalty on you and shit, or whatever the case is. And then you might look over and you might see the clock. It might be 144 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or the Lord might just show you other signs. He might show you a vision in a dream. You go to sleep that night. The Lord show you a vision of you getting delivered out of that prison. You should wake up and be like, hey, if that's gonna come true, then Lord, please deliver me. But if not, hey, let me die like a man then. You know what I'm saying? But it should boost your faith because the Lord is speaking to us, man. He's always strengthening us. What the scripture said with Yahweh Shai when he was getting tempted, it said that the Lord sent the angels to minister unto him and it gave him strength. And that's the same thing what the angels do to us when we see these different signs and different things. You know what I'm saying? The angels of the Lord is working, and they controlling these different things. Hey, let my servant see this so he can know or she can know. You know what I'm saying? But I believe it's Psalms. Going back to what the elders said, remember these different times, uh, these different spiritual moments and things like that. And just real quick, while I'm getting this, I remember another one of my favorite chariot sightings, man, where me and my ex brother-in-law, we was on the porch. He was claiming to be Hebrew Israelite, but he wasn't really for it. You know what I'm saying? I was the one that really took it serious, like, because we both heard the truth that same day, and I was the only one really coming back out. He came out like probably twice or thrice, but he was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that porch, man. It was a long ass porch, and I'm standing at the edge of it, so I can see the sky. But he was standing at where the door was at, so he couldn't really see the sky because above is a covering. So I see a chariot. Yeah, I remember it was Easter Day. I seen a chariot, and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's a chariot!" And he was like, "Oh man, you lying, man, whatever, man." Which is crazy. That shows you, that confirmed that he's not a brother. Because if a brother tell me, "Hey, brother," it's Salaki, y'all. I'm I'm washing clothes. I'm about to just transfer this shit. So Salaki for all that noise. But so if a brother tell me that, you know what I'm saying? If a brother be like, "Hey, oh shit, chariot," I'm not about to be like, "Oh yeah, man, you playing, man. Man, come on." Like, I'm gonna get my ass up and I'm gonna go see too, you know. But and he was scoffing or whatever. And then he finally got up, and then literally the closer he came to where you can see the sky, the chariot was dimming itself until like literally not a few seconds, like literally on the dot. As soon as he got to the edge, that's when the chariot completely disappeared, and it happened twice. So that was the spirit of the Lord. I know that was the spirit of the Lord because the Lord was showing me and not him, because I actually believe in he really bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's spiritual, bro. That's if that's not a spiritual, you know what I'm saying? Then I don't know what the fuck is, man. You know. And real quick too, before I read the scripture, that just shows you the Lord put a difference between, Lord willing, if I'm a righteous man unto the end, but I do believe I am the Lord's servant, you know. But hey man, that's a video right there. I might have to do a video on that because really that showed the difference. That's what do you say? I shall make known who's my chosen. The Lord's gonna show the chosen men, you know what I'm saying, miracles and healing. Just like when Yahushua, when he was healing people and things like that. If you didn't believe, he ain't gonna heal you. And one time he kicked people out the fucking house because he rose a young woman from the dead, and people were scoffing. He was like, "Man, y'all get the fuck." No, he ain't say it like that, but he kicked the unbelievers out. You know what I'm saying? So just same situation with that chariot, man. The Lord showed it to the believer, and the one that didn't believe, he didn't let him see. Like, nah, you ain't gonna see my glory, man. You see? But anyways, this is Psalm 77. Um, let me start at the first number one. It says, "I cried unto Yahweh, God with my voice, even unto God with my voice, and He gave ear unto me." All right, so see that's a past tense because he said He gave ear unto me, so he means this. So he already been through some shit, and he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord answered him. Just like us, brothers in the truth, man. If you've been in the truth. Really, brothers, when they first come to the truth, you get tried and tested, but especially if you've been in it for at least a year or two or more. Brothers had some, they've been through some battles, man. You know what I'm saying? Each and every brother, man. I don't give a fuck what brother you is. Every brother going through something. You know what I'm saying? It may look different than others, or stronger or weaker, but that's what that man is going through. I don't ever want to scoff what a brother go through. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to really brag like, oh, I'm going through harder things, or the more you and the longer you in the truth, you're gonna deal with heavier demons. But hey, whatever you going through, that's tailor made for you. You see what I'm saying? And you know, let's say you've been in the truth for 2 years, and you might be going through something that might be really hard to you because you kind of newer in the faith. But then when you get to like a little older, it might be a little easier. You know what I'm saying? So all of us is going through something. You know what I mean? But anyway, I ain't trying to go too much off topic. But it says, "In the day of my trouble, I sought the Lord. My sword ran in the night and seized not. My soul refused to be comforted." Oh Lord, sometimes it be like that, man. Sometimes you be trying to get in the spirit and you just can't get comforted. Man, it's crazy. Sometimes it be like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta wait on the Lord, man. Because sometimes, the Lord don't answer you right away. Sometimes it's gonna take some minute. You're gonna have to fight a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to hold the line for a little bit. All right. So it says, let me see. I remember God and was troubled, and I complained, and my spirit was overwhelmed. Salah. Thou holdest my eyes waken. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. See what I'm saying? So he's starting to remember different accounts in the scriptures, and also remember your brother's accounts, because you should, like me personally. I know our brothers love testimonies, because really the whole Bible is pretty much testimonies, accounts, things like that. But like I love testimonies. I love, you know what I'm saying, stories, period. I love just hearing stories, period. That's one of my favorite things to do. You know what I'm saying? But especially brothers' testimonies, because you can see what they was going through and how they got out the situation, and then also you can learn from it, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And it also is just a faith booster. So that's a good thing too, Ask brothers their testimonies, and you know what I'm saying? And remember the time when they, the Lord delivered them. You know what I'm saying? But it says, I call to remembrance my song in the night. I communed with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Right. So now you get in the spirit. The song is His truth. You start remembering the scriptures. You start going through the scriptures, and you speak in your own heart. You might even sometimes you might talk to yourself like it's on, like you in your own little lesson. And your spirit made a diligent search. You might get in the spirit, and then you might make a video on it. You know what I mean? You looking up different precepts to line up with this precept. You know what I mean? You getting into it, man. And then it started healing yourself pretty much. All right. That's exactly what we supposed to do, man. We supposed to remember. We supposed to remember the Lord. All right. Remember what He have done, and believe that He can do it again. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 20:7, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of our God. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to remember the name of the Lord. We're going to remember when I called on the name of the Lord and this happened. I called on the name of the Lord. That happened. You see what I'm saying? And He delivered me. And also, too, that shows you that you got to have a relationship with the Lord. You got to have experience with the Lord. You see what I'm saying? Because if you have a relationship with somebody, you've been through a lot of shit together, really. Like say if it's a friend, you just met this dude. He's really, really cool. Y'all click, but y'all don't really know each other. Y'all don't really trust each other. Y'all might really like each other, whatever, y'all cool, but y'all don't really know each other. Then you might know each other for a year, and then y'all get into y'all argue with each other, and then you start talking. You know what I mean? Whatever. Then you make up like, oh, nah, we cool, bro. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Then you go through ups and downs. You go through times where, you know what I'm saying, shit was tried. Now you, or both went through a very troubling time together. And that friend was there for you. Like, oh, okay, now I know this nigga faithful. Same thing with the Lord, man. It's a relationship. It's not going to be just perfect and all that. You got to remember when the bad times too. And then when the bad times, the Lord was there, man. I remember He was faithful. He looked out for me. I was broke as fuck, or I was hungry, or I was this, that was that, and the Lord looked out. So I know I can count on Him just like a friend. Oh man, shit! I remember when I had nothing. He took me in. You know what I'm saying? He gave me shelter. He gave me a place to stay. He gave me a little money, a little ride. I know He faithful. I'm gonna hit this dude up. I remember we got jumped or some shit. He was there. He was the only one that stayed and fought with me. I know He's faithful. Let me hit him up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Lord. So that means you got to have a relationship with him. All right. Psalms 42:6. 5. Why art thou cast down, O my soul, and why art thou disquieted in me? Hope thou in the Most High, for I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance. Oh my God. Yeah, right. Sometimes you gotta talk to yourself. I mean, why am I doubting? Why am I down? Why am I this, that, and the third? Stop being a bitch, man. Hey, believe in the Lord. Trust in the Lord, man. You know? Oh my God, my soul is cast down within me. Therefore will I remember thee from the land of Jordan, and of the Hormonites from the hill of Mazar. All right, deep calleth on. Let me see. That was it. You know what I'm saying? So he remembered him. He remembered the Lord. You know. And then in return, the Lord gonna remember us. All right. And I think there was one more I wanted in the Psalms. Uh, I don't know if I read. I might have read verse 11, but I don't think I read verse 12. So lucky if I did, but I'm gonna just read it again, just in case. Psalm 77:11. I remember the works of Yahweh. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. Remember the accounts of Exodus. You know what I'm saying? Accounts with Joshua. Isaiah, prophet Jeremiah, things like that. And apply it to your own life, because that's exactly what they did. They remembered accounts of old times, and then they was like, well, I'm gonna believe, which I'm gonna get example in that in a minute. I will meditate also of all thy work and talk of thy doing. Meditate. You're gonna constantly think about, oh man, I remember the Lord. Do that, man. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost. Really meditate on the Lord. Be at work and just think about how the Lord. Just think of an account or whatever. Or that'd be a good thing, because really you should be reading your scriptures every day. So sometimes just um read an account real quick. Read an account where how should I help somebody. Just real quick, you know what I mean? Just to keep it fresh in your mind, you know, and keep your faith strong. And I'm gonna do that, Lord willing, tonight. Fuck that. I'm gonna do that. That's Lord willing through the spirit, probably opportunity shot. That's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? And so like while I'm finding this, okay, I found it. Because sometimes you can get kind of, in a way, if you understand what I'm trying to say, like sometimes you can kind of get lost in the breakdowns, and then kind of forget about, the accounts of healing, or, you know, sermons, different sermons, things like that. Like sometimes that can happen, you know. But anyways, first Maccabees 1, 2 and 50. Now therefore, my sons, be zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. All right. Was not Abraham found faithful in his temptation, and was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Right. You see? And you can think about shit with Abraham almost sacrificed his son Isaac, but he knew that the Lord was going to raise his son back up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to apply that to your life. Brothers might have children, and or just have to make some type of sacrifice. You got to believe that you're going to receive that back, and you got to believe in obedience. All right. And then with Joseph, how he was in prison, he was supposed to be released, but because the dude that his dream that he interpreted, he's supposed to put the good word in for him, and then he forgot about it. I think he had to be in jail for like 3 more years or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you might link that to your own life today. When the shit hit the fan, Esau taking us for the word's sake, and we might be in prison or jail, a consecration camp, whatever, and we thinking, well, okay, the Lord about to deliver me in probably like 2 days, whatever. And then you might be in that bitch for a month or for 3 weeks or something. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta prepare your mind. Like you can't be like, oh, this taking too long. The Lord forsaken me, or fuck it. Cause with Joseph, he didn't forsake the Lord. You know what I mean? Even though it took way longer than he could have gave up, but he still believed. You know what I'm saying? So, Venus, our father, is being zealous and fervent to attain the covenant of everlasting priesthood. Yahweh Shai, or Joshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. All right, he was a very faithful, servant to Moses and to the Lord. To the very end. Even when the Israelites was down there partying and worshiping Baal and shit like that, or the golden calf, you know what I'm saying? Joshua, he was. I think he was at the end of the mountain waiting for Moses. He was a man. He was a very faithful ass man. There's a lot you can learn from that man. You know what I'm saying? And he obeyed the word of the Lord. The Lord told him to be courageous and meditate on me every day. And he I believe he took down like 35 fucking kings, man. That was all in Atlantic Cannon. He took down a lot of fucking kings, and and he was able to be a judge in Israel because only him and Caleb was the only ones that of that generation that was able to see the promised land and live in it. You know, so hey, we can learn from him to be faithful. Caleb for bearing witness, being the congregation. Sluggy, I know I read that wrong. Caleb for bearing witness before the congregation received the heritage of the Lord, and he showed great faith because everybody was like, man, these niggas are giant. Everybody's giving a bad report. But Caleb, he was like, man, hey, these niggas gonna be bread into us, man. Hey, if the Lord say he got us, so he got us. So he had that confidence in the Lord. You can learn that from him. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of the everlasting king. You can learn from King David a lot, but one thing you can learn is integrity and staying in order. Because he could have killed King Saul multiple times, and he could have took vengeance on King Saul's family, but he showed mercy on them. You know what I'm saying? And I believe some of them was killed, but he punished those people, man. That showed integrity, man. He's like, man, hey, no, this is the Lord's anointed, bro. It also shows you the fear of the Lord, man. Because he's like, man, I can't touch this, man. This is the Lord's anointed. So that shows you the respect and the fear that he had towards the Lord, and the integrity he had of himself. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have killed this man and be like, I'm done. I'm cool. I'm safe now. But now King David didn't know. He could have died. King Saul could have got him, killed him, his family, and all that. So that showed great faith. Elias, for being zealous and fervent of the Lord, was taken up into heaven. Prophet Elijah, you know what I'm saying? That we can learn from him, just like Enoch. Walking with the Most High, and let your ways please the Most High, so he can beam you up. All right. Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flame. All right. You see now how they showed great faith. Um, um, even unto death. They was faithful even unto death. You see, they didn't bow to the knee to Baal. That's what we can learn from them. Is to worship the Lord, and that's it, and to be faithful. All right. Even in the face of death. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. I mean, come on, Daniel, the prophet Daniel. You know what I'm saying? He was wise, man. He's very wise. You see, that's what we can learn from it. Him, and he had great faith, even in the face of death with the lions. You know what I'm saying? And thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Right. So that's pretty much the point, man. We just gotta remember these different accounts and apply them to yourself, because First and foremost, matter of fact, I got a scripture to end it with. It's one of my favorites. Because that same God that these men was doing this through, because it was through faith and believing in Yahweh Shai, that same power, that's within us. And not only that, these different men and certain of these women that did show great faith, they was our people, man. So that makes it even better. Cause they wasn't Edomites and like no, they that's what's in us. That's in our blood. We the sons of Jacob, man. That wrestled with the angel. We the sons of Jacob, Moses, Abraham, all right, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, King David, great and mighty men like that. You know what I'm saying? Daughters of Sarah. So that's why heritage is very important. That's why Esau, he tried to make us seem like we just monkeys and jumping around from bush to bush, tree to tree. You know what I'm saying? So Jake don't really got no vision. We don't really got nothing, you know? But now we know our people is the people of the Bible. Man, what? We gonna make our boast in the Yahweh Shah, just like our forefathers did. All right? Verse of Psalms 119 and 132, it says, "Look thou upon me and be merciful unto me, as thou usest to do unto those that love thy name." So we pray that the Lord looks upon us, his face shine upon us, and that he have mercy on us, just like he did have mercy on our forefathers, or those that loved his name. That was after his heart. You know, just like he had mercy to David, just like he had mercy to Joshua and Caleb, you know, to Lazarus, you know what I'm saying? That woman that had the issue of blood for 12 years. All these different men and women that had faith in them and loved his name and was faithful even unto death. The Lord always did some miracle or some sort to deliver them brothers and sisters. So just like he looked out for them, may the Lord do the same for us today. You know? So Lord willing, hopefully that was edifying. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Hakadash, the bounce to the apostles, GMS, Ruel, showing to the brothers doing this work. Stop and say shalom.